Alright guys, so in this episode, we're going to be testing to see how fast we can get a regular ambulance to top out at. I have the airspeed above to see the true speed, regular stuff on the right, and we have our torque and power numbers on the left. Let's jump into the video. Alright, so right off the rip, this thing makes, I believe, 380 torque. It makes 294 horsepower and 380 torque. So let's see if that's actually true. Okay, that is fairly true for the most part with the torque reading. So let's just get a baseline on this top speed to see what it's like stock. Turn ESC off. Don't think it's going to do much. That's mainly for traction, I believe. So I don't know how many transmission or gears is in this transmission, being that it's an automatic. I could probably switch to manual mode, but I really don't know how to do that on the controller. But it seems that we were going to be topping out around 100, I'd say. Yeah, 96, 97. We're starting to plateau. So I think it's safe to say about 100 miles an hour is the top speed. Because it's fiddling around between 97, 98. It might get to 100 eventually. A little bit of time's passed. We hit 100 eventually. So let's go back to the start. We have to beat 100 miles an hour. So I think you guys already know what I'm going to do. This is kind of my ritual. I'm just going to straight go off of the engine. We might gradually do this or whatever, but I don't think so. We have a couple engine options. It would be interesting to see an inline 6 build, but for the sake of keeping the video a little bit shorter, I'm going to just straight off the rip. I'm probably going to keep the 6.9 liter. But we could do a 6 liter diesel. You know what? Simply for the turbo option, I'm going to do the 6 liter diesel. And then we will do regular heavy engine mount. Since we're doing the diesel, it's going to be high, probably high PSI. So we'll do the ultra heavy duty block and then the adjustable ECU. Now I could do the stage 3 performance, but that thing is kind of iffy. So you make a little bit more power, torque and horsepower wise with the performance versions, but at the cost of, at least in my experience, with a lot of boost or just in general with a lot of power. It's not very good longevity wise. It blows up pretty quick. So we're just going to keep the ultra heavy duty long block. So I got all this stuff maxed out. Let's get rid of the seat just to save a little bit of weight. Then we're going to go into the intake options and stock turbocharger. Let's just do the stock one for now. We'll get a separate run and we'll go for the exhaust. I guess that's the only one we can get. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Oh, obviously nothing's going to happen because you have to have diesel in your fuel tank. So real quick, oh yeah, definitely spelled that the right way, didn't I? Swap it to diesel. And let's get a baseline run before we do the turbo and tune and all that. So this is a upgraded block stock turbo. So as you can tell, it's about the same really. If anything, we might end up losing, but we also haven't changed the transmission, so that's a factor as well. I'll be back with you guys when I get the final top speed. So I'm back. We actually lost a lot of mile per hour, and I even lost, I was at 81, and then it shifted into the last gear. It went down to 80, so I think it's safe to say this thing is not made for top speed. It's built for torque. So we are going to reset, and let's go ahead and add that turbo and see what happens. We could do tuning, but I'm just going to straight off the rib do the turbo. Stage 3 variable boost turbocharger. Not only does it sound the best, it is the best. I wish they had like a dual turbo setup or a triple turbo setup for this. That would be really cool, especially on an ambulance. If you could see 2 turbos sticking out the hood like behind the headlights, that would be kind of cool. But let's retry the exhaust options. I can't even remember exactly what happened. Yeah, okay, so it's just stock. We might just take it off. It'll flow better. And just to prove a point, so let's see if this works. So this is the regular exhaust. 500 and some odd torque. 510, I think, was the max I just saw. So then we're going to actually take it off and see if it makes a difference. So I think I'm seeing now like 516 something. I could be lying. I'm seeing it dip down to like 490. Regardless, we're going to leave it off. And let's go straight into the tuning aspect of things. Turbo pressure all the way up. RPM limit all the way up. And cut time to nothing. We don't want it to be cutting into it. We just need to let it release all the power into the ground. So, now that that's over, well, I guess you got to kind of fix the muffler, don't you, in order for it to not be dangling. You know what? It'd be cool with side pipes, but I don't really think we need that. So now let's get our new number. Oh, that sounds amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I think that sounds pretty cool. And I think it's safe to say our top speed is going to get way better. We're already hitting 90. There's 100. So we beat the original top speed. That's all that matters. So we have a maxed out engine block, maxed out turbo, everything all the way up. So the only thing we have to mess with now is, I think our weight and air resistance is going to be an issue, obviously, because it's a brick on wheels. But 120 is not bad for an ambulance. I'd say that's on the top end of things. 122. So we'll say 122 is the top speed. Let's go ahead and go back. Let's just start with, you know what? I didn't even try the transmission. Let's do the differential first. Open diff. We'll do a locking rear diff. And then what we got on the front. Rear wheel drive. No, it might just keep it rear wheel drive. We'll try the race four wheel drive though. I lied. Does that even make a difference? I hope we didn't lose top speed because I think technically we added weight and maybe some gear ratio problems. I don't think so, but maybe. Nah, I think it'll still hit 120. So 122, I think, is what our top speed was before. So, okay, it's safe to say that 122 is still the top speed. We really didn't change nothing doing the all-wheel drive or full-wheel drive. Let's go ahead and start taking parts off. I don't know if you can still call it an ambulance if we take most of the stuff off, but let's go ahead and try it. Start with the doors, empty. You know what? I'll be right back when I delete everything I want to delete. Alright guys, so I have maybe made some adjustments. It doesn't classify as an ambulance anymore, or at least a workable one, but I did make a lot of adjustments. So let's go ahead and see what the top speed is. I had to convert it to different lugs, so I changed it to off-road drag tires, and if this doesn't work, I do have an idea that might work. Using circular numbers for circular dimensions, if we throw on theoretically bigger tires, theoretically we should go faster. So the top speed to be is 122, and I believe we'll get to like 125 maybe. 122. Okay, we've already beat it, but not by much. So 125, so maybe 128 or so will be our top speed. But don't worry, I have an idea, and it might be kind of crazy and look weird, but it should work just fine. So 128, we're going to call 128 our top speed. I'll be right back. So as you can tell, I swapped on some bigger tires. These are crawler tires, and we're just going to take a look real quick and see if the number goes up. Now, I've had some problems with these where on some vehicles they make them slower, but on a lot of them they make them quite a bit faster, noticeably faster. The only issue is that you get a little bit of wheel wobble, because a tire that big should probably not be going that fast, especially when it's made for crawling. It's a softer tire compound, more weight in the tire, and you know, everything that comes with just bigger tires in general. So, getting up to speed was about the same. I don't think it's really going to help on this vehicle for some reason. So, the speed to beat was 128. We're already basically plateaued again at 122. Maybe we'll get 123. So I'll be right back when I can figure something out. So I indeed could not figure anything out. So the 128 is the number to beat, and that was with the off-road drag tires. So we're just going to end the video here, and if you guys want to see if the other engine options will work to make this thing faster, go ahead and leave a like. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see that as a video, because we might be able to make this thing a little bit faster. So with that, we're going to end this one with a jump. And remember, if you guys like this type of content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe so that way I know you want to see more of it. I'll see you guys in the next one.